High above Arequipa, where the winds carried the scent of both flowers and ash from El Misti, stood a house. This house was not just any ordinary structure. It was a relic of a bygone era, a silent witness to countless untold stories and forgotten memories. Perched on the edge of a cliff, it seemed to defy time itself, standing tall despite the ravages of nature and neglect. Not just any house. This one wore its abandonment like a shroud. The walls, once vibrant with life, now crumbled under the weight of years. Vines and weeds had claimed the yard, weaving through the broken windows and creeping into the very heart of the mansion. Locals whispered its name, Villa Dolorosa. The name itself sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak it aloud. It was said that the villa was cursed, a place where sorrow and despair lingered like a thick fog. No one remembered the family who had lived there, not truly. Their faces had faded from memory, leaving behind only ghostly impressions in old photographs and dusty portraits. The rooms, once filled with laughter and love, now echoed with emptiness. Only fragments remained. A vanished father, a grieving mother, children who seemed to have vanished into thin air. Their stories were pieced together from whispers and half-remembered tales, each more haunting than the last. But that was where the stories always broke down, dissolving into uneasy silence. The truth of what happened to the family was lost to time, buried beneath layers of fear and superstition. Some swore the house sighed, a low moan on the wind. It was as if the very walls were alive, breathing out the sorrows of the past. The wind, they said, carried the voices of those long gone, whispering secrets that no one could quite understand. Others, that shadows moved within, shapes flitting past the dusty windows. These shadows were said to be the restless spirits of the family, forever trapped within the confines of their former home, unable to find peace. But all agreed, Villa Dolorosa held its secrets close, and those secrets were best left undisturbed. To venture into the villa was to invite the unknown, to risk becoming another whisper in the wind, another shadow in the night. Of course, that's precisely what young people craved, the forbidden. So it was that one humid night, under a sky choked with stars, 4 friends found themselves at the foot of the hill leading up to the villa. There was Raphael, ever the skeptic, yet unable to resist a challenge. Elena, her dark eyes sparkling with a mix of fear and excitement. Little Pepe, clinging to his brother Tomas's hand, trying to appear brave. Just a story, Raphael scoffed, though his voice lacked its usual confidence. The closer they got to the house, the heavier the air grew, as if laden with unseen dread. The iron gate groaned open, a rusty, tortured sound. It echoed through the still night, a harbinger of the eerie journey that lay ahead. The gate, once a proud sentinel, now stood as a relic of forgotten times, its hinges protesting with every inch it moved. The garden, once meticulously kept, had surrendered to a riot of weeds and thorns. Vines choked the life out of ancient statues, and the once vibrant flower beds were now a tangled mess of brambles. The air was thick with the scent of decay, mingling with the sweet aroma of night-blooming flowers. Yet even in decay, there was a haunting beauty to the place. Moonlight cast long shadows, creating an almost ethereal glow on the crumbling stone pathways. The garden seemed to whisper secrets of its glorious past, inviting those who dared to listen. The front door stood ajar, a black maw inviting them in. It was as if the house itself was alive, breathing in the darkness, waiting for its next visitors. The door creaked slightly, a sound that sent shivers down their spines. Pepe whimpered, but Tomas hushed him, his own gaze fixed on the peeling paint and the way the shadows seemed to deepen as they approached. The walls, once vibrant with color, were now a canvas of neglect, each crack and peel telling a story of abandonment. Inside, the air was stale and cold, despite the summer night. It felt as though the house had trapped the chill of countless winters within its walls. The temperature drop was palpable, making them shiver involuntarily. Dust motes danced in the faint moonlight filtering through grimy windows. Each particle seemed to move with a purpose, creating a mesmerizing, almost hypnotic effect. The room was a time capsule, untouched and undisturbed for years. The silence was absolute, broken only by the frantic thumping of their own hearts. It was a silence that pressed in on them, amplifying every creak of the floorboards and every rustle of their clothing. They could almost hear the house breathing, a slow, deliberate inhale and exhale, as if it were alive. Each room they explored told a story, or rather hinted at one. A dining table set for a meal never eaten, chairs overturned as if in haste. A nursery with a chipped porcelain doll staring blankly from a rocking chair. Everywhere, dust lay thick and undisturbed, except for a single set of footprints leading up the grand staircase. Small footprints, like those of a child. Elena shivered. Do you think we're the only ones who've been here in all this time? Don't be ridiculous, Raphael said, though his bravado sounded hollow even to his own ears. On the second floor, they found a room untouched by the decay that permeated the rest of the house. It was a child's bedroom, wallpaper patterned with faded animals, a rocking horse frozen mid-gallop. And on the wall, a drawing, done in crayon, vibrant colors stark against the gloom. It depicted a family, a smiling father, a serene mother, 2 children, and behind them, a towering, shadowy figure with eyes like burning coals. Pepe gasped and buried his face in Tomas's shirt. Elena traced the outline of the figure with a trembling finger. What does it mean? She whispered. Section 6. The Eyes That Watch. As if in answer, a low growl echoed from the hallway. The hair on Raphael's arms stood on end. It wasn't the growl of a dog or any animal he recognized. It was something deeper, more primal, filled with an icy rage. The growl became a guttural snarl, closer now, accompanied by the scrape of claws on hardwood. They were trapped. We have to go, Tomas said, his voice tight with fear. He grabbed Pepe's hand, and they ran towards the door, only to find it slammed shut as if by an unseen hand. Section 7. Cold Breath. Panicked, they pounded on the door, but it wouldn't budge. The snarling was right outside now, hot, fetid breath seeping under the crack beneath the door, sending shivers down their spines. Elena sank to the floor, her eyes wide with terror. We're going to die here, she whispered. Raphael felt a surge of protectiveness. He grabbed an old rusted toy sword from the corner, more for comfort than defense. Not if I can help it. Section 8. Turn back, now. Suddenly the snarling stopped. An eerie silence descended, heavier and more oppressive than before. Then, a child's laughter, high and clear, echoed through the room. Mama, Papa, look, we have visitors. The laughter sent chills down their spines, colder than the grave. Raphael felt a hand on his shoulder, icy cold, and a whisper in his ear, filled with amusement and malice. You shouldn't be here. Turn back now, before it's too late. Section 9. Never look away. The whispering ceased, leaving an unsettling silence that seemed to stretch on forever. The air grew colder, and the shadows deepened, as if the darkness itself was alive and watching. The doorknob rattled, and the door creaked open, the sound echoing through the empty halls. It was a sound that sent shivers down Raphael's spine, a sound that spoke of things best left undisturbed. Standing in the hallway was a little girl, no older than 7, her eyes shining unnaturally bright in the darkness. She seemed out of place, a ghostly figure in an already haunted setting, her presence both innocent and terrifying. She smiled, a chillingly sweet smile that didn't reach her eyes. It was a smile that promised secrets and whispered of long-forgotten nightmares. Won't you come play with me? She asked, her voice soft and melodic, yet carrying an undertone of something ancient and malevolent. We have all eternity to play. Her words hung in the air, heavy with a promise of endless, inescapable horror. Behind her, Raphael thought he saw a flicker of movement, a towering shadow with eyes like burning coals. It was a presence that seemed to suck the light from the room, leaving only darkness and dread. He knew then what had happened to the family, what lurked in the heart of Villa Dolorosa. The realization hit him like a physical blow, the weight of the villa's dark history pressing down on him, and he knew they would never truly escape. The villa had claimed them, just as it had claimed so many before. Its grip was unyielding, its hunger insatiable. For some horrors once seen can never be unseen. They linger in the mind, haunting the soul, a constant reminder of the darkness that lies just beyond the veil of reality.